thank you all for taking time out of your schedule to be here. This is a very, very exciting project, and glad that we're finally at this particular point. We've been having this conversation with great anticipation for quite some time, so I want to thank everyone that's been involved, and I want to thank Hector for all of the efforts to coordinate today's event, and I want to make sure to recognize some key people that have been involved in the project. Lalani Thielen, Hector's Deputy Director of Capital Projects and Infrastructure. Let's give it up for Lalani. Dara Griffith, she is the Hector Project Manager of Capital Projects and Infrastructure. Let's give it up for her. And then Walberto, otherwise known as Wally Hinojosa, Hector's Tunnel and Ferry Manager. Let's give it up for Wally. And then we have a whole host of PBK folks, but in particular, Manny Torres. Let's give it up for Manny. And to the entire PBK team, thank you for all of your work. And then we have some folks that I'm hoping will be able to join us later with Chad Burke with the Economic Alliance Houston Port region. And then we have Mary Jane Mudd, who is the Executive Director of ECMA, the East Harris County Manufacturers Association. So again, thank you all for your particular work. The redentions look gorgeous, and it's going to give this part of town something beautiful as a particular beacon in those evenings. It's going to provide community space, the opportunity for us to combine facilities together. Some of these different buildings that you see here, this one and that one, are all going to be combined together to ensure that the operations become much more seamless. But as you can tell, these buildings have, it's a blessing that they're still standing. And one person in particular that I do want to recognize is Calvin Harvey, who is has a key role in this particular project. Calvin is not related to Hurricane. Thank goodness. But with all that being said, this ferry is the oldest running in the state of Texas, first established about over 200 years ago in 1822. So it's incredible that we still have this particular asset, but to recognize, it's one thing to have something that's historical, but it's another to have something that's historical, but still operational and still critical to the quality of life of folks that live out in the area and use this ferry on a given day. When this asset was under my office, I would get calls from people when we would have to shut it down because of the weather. Maybe the tide was moving a little bit too quickly, so we'd have to make thoughtful adjustments to it. But we would get calls from people saying, oh, come on, it's not that bad, open it up, let's keep it moving. But all for the sake of safety. But it just made an impression on me just how significant it is for the people who have come accustomed to it, and probably for generations that have been using it over these years. But all that being said, I'm glad that it's in the hands of the Harris County Toll Road Authority, and I want to thank them for their respective work and stewardship of this particular asset. I've been in conversations with the Executive Director, Mr. Trevino. He's up in Austin fighting for us and for our money. And so we are very, very glad for the work that we're here. But as I mentioned, this was something that was envisioned early in 2019. So glad that we're finally here, about to do the groundbreaking. And if any of you brought your fishing poles, you can do that a little later. But right now, let's turn it over to Calvin.
Thank you, Commissioner.
You're welcome.
As Commissioner Garcia mentioned, this site and its caretakers have experienced a long battle with the elements. Situated on where the Buffalo Bayou and the San Jacinto River meet, this small peninsula has weathered some major storms over the past 200 years. We are the current caretakers and have come up with some things that we believe will make this a more resilient facility and help our long-term goals and future growth and meet the challenges that the weather brings us. This operational building has been expanded twice, and I don't know how many times it's been remodeled and repaired. And it also acts as the maintenance shop to help the ferries keep operational. The ferries can ride out a storm where they're at. The building cannot. So where we're at right now was underwater in Burrell. So, and there was a lot of repairs that had to be done before we could get operational again. The new building combined operations and maintenance, just as the Commissioner mentioned, and it'll be a 14,000 square foot facility. That's a substantial increase to give us the ability to enhance ferry operations and meet future growth. The renderings, what you see here, are what the project will look like. In addition to being 3 stories tall, there will be a water flood barrier system to keep the flood waters out, with concrete walls and floodgates. During hurricane season, we always advocate preparedness, but recovery is also important. The improvements in this facility will allow operations to recover more quickly and expedite returning people to their homes and to their jobs. It's important to note that before we undertook this project, we did a business analysis and continuing benefits of the ferry system. We run 2 boats that average carrying about 1,000 cars a day. Within a 5-mile radius of this facility, there are more than 1,600 businesses employing nearly 26,000 people. Our analysis found that about 80% of those trips on the ferry involve people commuting to and from work. As Commissioner Garcia said, people depend on this service to cross the Houston Ship Channel, the #1 waterway for foreign tonnage in the United States. Since 1890, it's been free. And Hector is proud to continue providing services at no charge to everyone who needs it. We are very proud of our contribution to the community and service to our community and to this service of providing this ferry service to the people on the east side of Harris County.